tuned to Arrow FM, your local community access radio station. The time now is 8 o'clock, time for another hour of the great music that came out in the 1960s with the 60s Nostalgia Show. Oh, it's marvellous when you push the right button. Bit of a shaky start to the show tonight, so we can only improve from here on in. The 60s Nostalgia Show is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough, and they'll be swinging and doing all sorts of things down in Martinborough on Sunday. Cotter and Stevens have been around in the Wairarapa for a long time and are contractors for electrical work, whether it be personal or commercial, and also any work around the dairy shed, because they are the local DVL agents, and they are also pretty good around effluent systems. Nothing really planned for the show tonight, and unfortunately I don't think you'll be able to get through to the studio for a request, but we'll have the feature album, and we're getting off to a jaunty start. This is the theme song to the James Bond film Casino Royale, performed by the Jet Set. The Jet Set there, and the theme song to the film Casino Royale, a James Bond film that didn't feature a proper James Bond. It was a spoof, and from memory I think David Niven played James Bond. Right, first up on the show tonight we've got Tar and Cement and Verdale Smith.
The town I came from was quiet and small. We played in the meadows where the grass grew so tall. In summer the lilacs would grow everywhere. The laughter of children would float in the air. As I grew older, I had to roam, far from my family, far from my home, into the city where lives can be spent, lost in the shadows of tar and cement. And every night I'd sit alone and learn what loneliness meant. Up in my rented room above a world of tar and cement. Each day I'd wake up, look at the sky, think of the meadows where I used to lie. Then I'd remember all of what's gone. You're in the city, you better push on. Get what you came for before it's too late. Get what you came for, the meadows can wait. So every night I'd sit alone and learn what lonely
Verdell Smith there and Tar and Cement. Right, bit of a change of pace in the next two songs, and we're going to start off with Tommy James and the Shondells, and then we'll have the Spencer Davis Group.
Shoot 'em down, turn around, come on, hold it. Hey, you give me love and I feel alright now. It got me tossed and turned.
The incredibly talented Stevie Winwood there and the Spencer Davis Group with Gimme Some Lovin'. I'm reading a book at the moment, an autobiography by Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac. And in the 1960s, he had a connection with the Spencer Davis Group. I'm not quite sure exactly what the connection was. I can't quite remember. I think his sister was going out at one stage with Spencer Davis, and they found this young guy, and it turned out to be Stevie Winwood. And apparently when he was at secondary school, at lunchtime, instead of playing in the playground with everyone else or ducking around behind the bike sheds, he used to go down to the pub just down the road and play the piano and blues for an hour and then go back to school.
Oh, I try and I try, but I can't say goodbye. Feel so bad, baby, oh it hurts me when I think of how you love and desert me. I'm the broken-hearted toy you play with. I try, but I can't say goodbye. I know that it's wrong and I should be so strong, but the thought of you gone makes me want to hold on.
lot longer if you live without me.
Two in a row there, starting off with the Hollies and I Can't Let Go, and finishing with Linda Ronstadt fronting the Stone Ponies and Different Drum, song written by Mike Nesmith of the Monkees. And all that brought the time to 18 minutes after 8 o'clock here on Arrow FM, and you're listening to the 60s Nostalgia Show, which is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough. Right, I might play another couple of songs and then we'll have a track from tonight's feature album. So starting off, we've got the Lemon Pipers and the Green Tambourine Song.
Silver in my tambourine, help a poor man build a pretty dream. Give me pennies, I'll take anything. Now listen while I play my green tambourine. Watch the jingle jangle start to shine, reflections of the music that is mine. When you toss a coin, you hear it sing. Now listen while I play my green tambourine. Drop a dime before I walk away. Any song you want, I'll gladly play. Money feeds my music machine. Now listen while I play my green tambourine.
The Lemon Pipers and Green Tambourine. Next up, we've got a track from Jerry and the Pacemakers, and we'll play this one for John and...
I saw a city.
I was trying to figure out where the noise was coming from. So I think we'll play this one for John and Raywin over in Chester. And as I mentioned, from time to time you can pick these programs up now a lot easier, particularly if you happen to be over the other side of the world. You can do it by just looking at Arrow FM's web page, and all you got to do is go to programs, click on, in this case, the 60s Nostalgia Show, and right down the bottom is the latest video of the latest show, and you can also hear the podcast as well. And I know that John is quite keen on listening to the 60s, very keen on listening to this song from Jerry and the Pacemakers, and then we'll start a track from our featured album that also has some guys from Liverpool.
Life goes on day after day. Hearts torn in every way. So ferry, cross the Mersey, 'cause this land's the place I love, and here I'll stay. People, they rush everywhere, each with their own secret care. So ferry, cross the Mersey, and always take me there, the place I love. People around every corner, they seem to smile and say, we don't care what your name is, boy, we'll never turn you away. So I'll continue to say, here I always will stay. So ferry, cross the Mersey, 'cause this land's the place I love, and here I'll stay, and here I'll stay, here I'll stay.
The Beatles here, and the track Kansas City, along with Hey Hey, the Little Richard song from the album called Beatles for Sale, which is the featured album for this week. That came out in early December in 1964. Was the fourth album put out by the Beatles, and it's amazing to think of that. It is what is it, very nearly 54 years ago that album was put out. It was put together sort of in between their busy schedules, so most of the tracks were actually cover versions, and there were only probably about a quarter of them were originals from Lennon and McCartney. And that album was at number one in the UK for 11 weeks, and overall it's spent 48 weeks in, or 46 weeks in the top 20, which when you think of it is pretty amazing. Great album, that one, but difficult to work out songs that weren't hits for the Beatles, but I've managed to work out another one. We'll play that one reasonably shortly, and I'll give you a little glimpse of the cover as well. The Mamas and the Papas here, and I saw her again. And, oh, something's happening in the headphones. We'll box on anyway. Next up, we've got little Piggy March, and I will follow him, and we'll follow him with another Beatles track.
will follow him wherever he may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can't keep me away. I must follow him. Ever since he touched my hand, I knew that near him I always must be, and nothing can keep him from me. He is my destiny. I love him, I love him, I love him, and where he goes I'll follow, I'll follow, I'll follow. He'll always be my true love, my true love, my true love, from now until forever, forever, forever. I will follow him wherever he may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away from my love. I love him, I love him, I love him, and where he goes I'll follow, I'll follow, I'll follow. He'll always be my true love, my true love, my true love, from now until forever, forever, forever. I will follow him wherever he may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can't keep me away from my love. And where he goes I'll follow, I'll follow, I'll follow. I know I'll always love him, I love him, I love him, and where he goes I'll follow, I'll follow, I'll follow. I know I'll always love him, I love him, I love him, and where he goes.
Well, they took some honey from a tree, dressed it up and they called it me. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby now. Woke up last night, 4:30, 50 women knocking on my door. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby now. Went out last night, I didn't say late, for a home I had a 19 date. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby now. Went out last night, I didn't say late, for a home had a 19 date. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby now. Well, they took some honey from a tree, dressed it up and they called it me. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby now.
The Beatles here, and everybody's trying to be my baby with George Harrison on the vocals. That was a song written by Carl Perkins, and of course the Beatles were great fans of Carl Perkins and rockabilly music. I know there's the cover of this album. Beatles for sale. There's the 4 Beatles there, and you flip it over, and there they are amongst the leaves. This is I think they call them gatefold LPs, which folds out, and let's move that away a little bit, and you get all sorts of goodies in there. There's a big photo, and then there's a big splurge all about the Beatles. So a great album, that one, the Beatles' 4th album, Beatles for Sale.
As I walk along, I wonder what went wrong with our love, although it was so strong. And as I still walk on, I think of the things we've done together while our hearts were young. I'm a walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel a pain, wishing you were here by me to end this misery. And I wonder, I wonder why she ran away, and I wonder where she will stay, my little runaway. Run, 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 run away. I'm a walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel a pain, wishing you were here by me to end this misery. And I wonder, I wonder why she ran away, and I wonder where she will stay, my little runaway. Run, 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 run away. Run, 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 run away. Run, run.
Del Shannon there, and a Runaway. That brought the time to 20 minutes to 9 o'clock here on Arrow FM, your local community access radio station, and you're listening to the 60s Nostalgia Show, which is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough. Next up, we've got Leslie Gore, and it's My Party.
It's my party and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Nobody knows where my Johnny has gone, but Judy left the same time. Why was he holding her hand when he's supposed to be mine?
Leslie Gore there, and It's My Party. Next up, we've got Bobby Bear, and great song about Detroit City.
Sleep in Detroit City, and I dreamed about those cotton fields and home. I dreamed about my mother, dear old papa, sister and brother. I dreamed about that girl who's been waiting for so long. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. Oh, how I wanna go home. Home folks think I'm big in Detroit City. From the letters that I write, they think I'm fine. But by day I make the cards, by night I make the bars. If only they could read between the lines. 'Cause you know, I rode a freight train north to Detroit City. And after all these years I find that I've just been wasting my time. So I just think I'll take my foolish pride and put it on a southbound freight and ride. Go on back to the loved ones, the ones that I left waiting so far behind. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. Oh, how I wanna go home. I wanna go
home. 17, a beauty queen, she made a ride that caused a scene in the town. Her long blonde hair hanging down around her knees. All the cats who did striptease, praying for a little breeze. Her long blonde hair falling down across her arms, hiding all the latest charms. Lady Godiva, she found fame and made her name. A Hollywood director came into town and said to her, how'd you like to be a star? You're a girl who could go far, especially dressed the way you are. She smiled at him, gave her pretty head a shake. That was Lady G's mistake. Hey, Lady Godiva. He directs Certificate X, and people now are craning their necks to see her. 'Cause she's a star, one that everybody knows. Finished with the striptease shows, now she can't afford her clothes. Her long blonde hair lying on the barber's floor, doesn't need it long anymore.
Peter and Gordon there, and lovely song all about Lady Godiva. Right, next up we've got Cliff Richard and the Young Ones.
The young ones, darling, whether
Oh dear, I didn't do that very well, did I? So I'll go and sort that mess out, and what we'll do is play another track, and we'll play, I think, let's have a look, we might play the Young Bloods, and this time I won't stop it.
love is but a song we sing, feels the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both, it's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. I
The young bloods there and Get Together, getting me out of a little bit of a hole I dug for myself. So we haven't got time for Cliff Richard, so I might bring him down next week because we're going to finish the show off with this Wheels on Fire.
If your memory serves you well, we were gonna meet again and wait. So I'm going to unpack all my things and sit before it gets too late. No man alive will come to you with another tale to tell. But you know that we shall meet again if your memory serves you well.
Wheels on fire, rolling down the road. There's no if I'm not next of kin, this wheel shall explode.
Your memory serves you well. I was gonna confiscate my lace and wrap it up in a sailor's knot and hide it in your place. If I knew for sure that it was yours, but it was oh so hard to tell. And you know that we shall meet again if your memory serves you well.
Wheels on fire, rolling down the road. There's no if I'm not next of kin, this wheel shall explode.
If your memory serves you well, you'll remember you're the one that called on me to call out men to give you your favors done. And after every plan had failed and there was nothing more to tell, you knew that we would meet again if your memory serves you well.
This wheel's on fire, rolling down the road. There's no if I'm not next of kin, this wheel shall explode.
Julie Driscoll, Brian Auger and the Trinity with this Wheels on Fire, bringing to a close another edition of the 60s Nostalgia Show, which was first broadcast all over the wonderful Wairarapa on Arrow FM 92.7 and brought to you with the kind sponsorship of Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough.